Now then, just a quick economic note. Russia loses record $250 billion in wartime capital flight. A record of $253 billion has been pulled out of Russia since the start of its full-scale war with Ukraine. Russian central bank has said. So it's not even some, journalists are trying to report it, right? Like, no, it is Russian central bank. Net inflows of current transactions and net outflows have reached unprecedented levels. Almost 240 billions were taken out of Russia last year, including 13 billion of pre-invasion month of January. So somebody who knew that this is coming already thought, okay, you know what, we're gonna try to take our assets, money, whatever. So the rate of capital flight relative to GDP, 13%. So think about it, breaking the previous record of 11% seen during the 2008 global financial crisis and after annexation of Crimea in 2014. The average rate of capital outflow over the previous 13 years stood up at 5%, and now it's triple that, basically. So to those who think that sanctions don't work, those who think that this doesn't really affect Russia, imagine being hit almost 15% of GDP, 13% of GDP. There's just money taken out of the economy, essentially. 13%. That's not nothing. And that's a fucking... And then this will have serious consequences long term, obviously. So think of it what you will, but you know what I mean? This is not nothing whatsoever. This is pretty substantial, 100%. And also on that note, oh my god, I had that little news that basically Russians during the I don't have it right now. Basically, Russians during the Prigozhin's mutiny took out from the ATM machines, from the bankomats as they call here, from ATMs, $1 billion. $1 billion. Russians during the mutiny, which was 2 days on a weekend. During that time, Russians have thought okay, you know what? We don't know what's gonna happen next. We got a better. This is just to prove a point that Russians don't trust their government. They don't really love their government whatsoever. It's just for criticizing it, like I said before, you can go to jail for 6 years or 10 years or even 20 years. You know what I mean? They're just, a lot of them are completely, scared of even saying anything. But actions speak louder than words, don't they? So as it started, everybody thought, okay, you know what? We got to better go and get our money before some banks will collapse or whatever, and we are going to be left in the same position as when the USSR collapsed, when everything that people were storing basically got absolutely burned to the ether. Okay,